Thank you for visiting avulation.com. This 15-minute presentation, which is part one of a two-part series, is designed to provide a high-level overview, as well as some key issues to consider when designing your organization's business continuity program, or if you have a program already, improving it to increase capability or efficiency. Part 1 focuses on defining business continuity and why organizations should consider thinking about business continuity risk. Part 2 focuses on how to implement and maintain business continuity programs and who should be involved. The full text of this presentation may be read within the Notes tab on the right-hand side of the screen. Use the buttons at the bottom of the screen to pause, stop, or play the presentation at any time. To navigate to another slide, double-click on the slide listed on the right. Avulation Consulting is a risk reduction and business continuity firm. We help organizations in nearly all industries, as well as in the public sector, identify business continuity requirements, as well as develop and improve business continuity programs in order to help minimize the effects associated with disruptive events. We employ a systematic approach to business continuity that is compatible with Six Sigma, ITIL, COBIT, and management system principles. The result is a more resilient organization, not just a recoverable one. Avulation Consulting is also one of a handful of consulting firms recognized as capable to assist in preparing for British Standard, or BS, 25999 certification, as well as assessing readiness for the certification process. BS 25999 is a precursor to a business continuity ISO standard in the future. We also offer something unique in our profession, a complete satisfaction guarantee to ensure each client receives the expected value from our services. Organizations in both the public and private sector are under increasing pressure to plan for crisis events, and rightfully so. Today's interconnected international economy causes crisis events to happen much faster and with much greater impacts. In a 2003 Harvard Business Review article, 2/3 of surveyed corporate strategists said that their organization had been surprised by as many as 3 high-impact events over a 5-year period, and that nearly all, 97%, did not have an early warning and response system in place. Although most organizations have threat-independent business continuity strategies and processes, these plans must take into account a number of categories of business risk and threats and how they uniquely affect your organization's interests. These include natural disasters and their impacts on your business, such as hurricanes, tornadoes, flooding, and other forms of severe weather. Man-made threats, which include a wide range of issues such as cyber threats, loss of technology and communications capabilities, and even criminal activity. Threats to human resources, which include pandemics and other events leading to high absenteeism. And finally, and perhaps most significant in today's economic climate, is the threat posed by a loss of key suppliers or an inability to receive products or services from key business partners. All totaled, today's organizations are complex and dependent on a number of key internal and external resources to operate efficiently. A short or long-term loss of these resources could impact an organization severely, which increases the need for proactive business continuity planning. Unfortunately, business continuity is an often misunderstood concept. Let's start with discussing exactly what business continuity is. Business continuity is a risk management program that focuses on designing, implementing, and maintaining strategies that not only minimize the likelihood of a disruptive event, but also strategies that ensure an efficient response to a disruptive event and recovery of essential operations. If you were to speak with a business continuity professional, that person might talk about a number of outcomes from a business continuity planning process, including a business impact analysis, a risk assessment, emergency operations centers, alternate workspaces and data centers, crisis communications processes, response and recovery plans, exercises, training sessions, and annual plan maintenance activities. Yes, these are all important activities, but the real result is simple: a business continuity program that delivers sustained availability of essential business processes and technology assets in accordance with management-approved objectives. In most organizations, business continuity isn't just viewed as a program to react to threatening events. Instead, business continuity also focuses on proactively implementing controls to prevent disruptive events, minimize the likelihood of occurrence, or significantly decrease the severity or downtime. For example, imagine an organization with a single call center in an area prone to flooding. While a plan to recover the call center if it flooded may be needed, a proactive business continuity program would also evaluate ways to prevent downtime, such as splitting the call center across 2 locations, or perhaps implementing a virtual call center representative technology to enable a faster recovery at an alternate location, even a home location. Another simple example might be the implementation of a backup power generator, or the identification of alternate suppliers for a critical product. Whatever the solution set for your organization, business continuity shouldn't be viewed as a series of plans, but a program comprised of both proactive and reactive controls and strategies. To summarize, business continuity is comprised of 4 related processes. First, risk mitigation is all about proactively treating business continuity-related threats and risks in order to decrease the likelihood of a disruptive event. Second, crisis management is the strategies and actions designed to protect people, property, and business functionality while preparing for recovery of critical processes. Third, business recovery is the resumption of critical business processes in a reasonable time frame and to a minimum acceptable level using alternate facilities, resources, personnel, technologies, and/or processes. And finally, IT disaster recovery is the resumption of critical technologies, which include applications, communications, and even PCs and printers based on business requirements. Before outlining why organizations plan for business continuity, let's explain these concepts further using a case study. Company X began the business continuity planning process about 2 years ago. As a $3 billion producer of advanced circuit boards for large technology manufacturers, they were receiving a number of customer inquiries regarding their business continuity capability. When they launched their planning effort for their corporate headquarters in California and their 5 manufacturing plants, they appointed their CFO as the program sponsor and created a steering committee. In addition to creating a policy statement, they began a fairly detailed requirements analysis. This analysis resulted in the identification of recovery requirements ranging from 24 hours to 6 weeks. It also highlighted a number of vulnerabilities, including an over-reliance on single-source suppliers, as well as single points of failure with very long equipment lead times. They also discovered many employee single points of failure amongst their staff of over 4,000 people. As a result of these findings, the company began a systematic process to address these issues. After 2 years, the business continuity program was maturing and management remained very supportive. That summer, on a Sunday evening around 9 p.m. local time, a destructive earthquake severely damaged the corporate headquarters as well as the adjacent manufacturing facility and distribution center. It affected many local communities as well, severely affecting power, communications, and roadways. Authorities advised that all citizens stay off the roads for the foreseeable future. So what did Company X do? First, Company X had a long-established, well-rehearsed evacuation plan that led to the successful evacuation of employees that were performing third-shift duties at the manufacturing facility. The corporate headquarters was largely empty, as was much of the distribution center. Employees were accounted for, and first aid was administered as required. A number of injuries had occurred, and these people were taken to local hospitals. At the same time, the company's new crisis management process was invoked. Due to the telecommunications outage, the crisis management team was unable to convene via the standard crisis management team conference bridge line. However, the crisis management team leader and the crisis management coordinator contacted the affected sites and one another via satellite phones. Because minimal mobile phone connectivity was available, the crisis management team leader and the crisis management coordinator each contacted other members of the crisis management team to confirm everyone was okay and also provide meeting instructions in 8 hours. The Human Resources Communications representative began drafting messages for the media, customers, and shareholders. The crisis management coordinator also recorded a message on the company's crisis hotline for employees and also contacted the county's Emergency Operations Center for updated situation information. 8 hours later, the crisis management team was able to convene in the parking lot in front of the headquarters. Select members of the company's damage assessment team were present as well. They surveyed the site, although they could not enter many of the buildings due to structural damage. They agreed to implement various business recovery and IT disaster recovery plans and strategies in accordance with established recovery objectives, including a transfer of many orders to other manufacturing locations, as well as contact center calls to the alternate customer contact center in Dallas. SAP and email recovered within 2 hours. Supplier deliveries were postponed or rerouted based on pre-established protocols. An updated message was posted on the crisis hotline, and the company's notification service was used to reach all employees and check on their personal needs. For many weeks after the earthquake, building restoration activities continued, with Company X carefully coordinating with local government agencies. Most corporate headquarters business processes recovered at alternate locations or from employees' homes, albeit in a minimum capacity. All in all, Company X's customers felt very little disruption, and they also felt well communicated with. Employees also felt well treated. This is an example of how a simple, well-established, and well-rehearsed business continuity program can assist in meeting all stakeholder needs, even in a catastrophic situation. Next, let's talk about why organizations should plan and continually invest in business continuity. Business continuity is an often talked about risk management practice in many settings, ranging from industry associations and professional societies to boardrooms and customer contract negotiations. In fact, more and more organizations are taking action to plan for the unexpected. But what's driving these organizations? 4 main drivers stand out. First of all, fear remains the most significant motivator to action. Fear of financial loss, fear of market share loss, and fear associated with a poor reputation in the marketplace. A second driver, and one that continues to grow in importance and influence, is increased customer confidence. Customers demand supply chain security, and as a result, more and more customers are making inquiries of their supply chain regarding business continuity capability. A third driver is government regulation. A number of industries, including financial services and healthcare, demand prudent business continuity planning. Other industries may not make similar demands, but professional associations are adopting standards as recommended practices. Lastly, business continuity planning is really viewed as the right thing to do, and is viewed by many as a component of the standard of care principle and a cost of doing business. Organizations invest their time and resources in business continuity strategies for a number of reasons. First, there is tremendous value in understanding what threats are most likely to severely impact operations, and thus develop strategies to ensure continuity of operations through facilities, supply chain, information, and communications readiness. Second, organizations realize the value in mitigating the likelihood that high-risk threats will impact operations, potentially causing an interruption to customer-facing services. Third, developing process documentation offers value when focused on efficiently enabling the resumption of critical work streams during an incident. Fourth, business continuity processes create a leave-behind roadmap for next-level leadership should primary leadership become unavailable. And fifth, business continuity analyses and solutions highlight personnel and knowledge deficiencies for remediation, resulting in succession planning, cross-training, and intellectual capital replication and protection. Thank you for viewing Part 1 of this 2-part introduction to business continuity. Clearly, this introduction to business continuity planning just scratched the surface when it comes to understanding business continuity and why organizations elect to invest in this risk management practice. Part 2 focuses on planning techniques, who should be involved, and where to place the business continuity function within the organization. If you would like to learn more, we invite you to contact us. Please feel free to email us at businesscontinuityhelp@avulation.com to schedule a no-obligation discussion on how to get started, or, if you are already employing business continuity processes, how to better align your program to meet your business objectives. We also invite you to browse the rest of our website and review the various perspectives authored by our consultants. These perspectives will explore many of the topics discussed in this presentation, however in much greater detail.